Hello and welcome to the Bearded Horror Review. My name is Dan, aka the Boogey Man, and here on this show I will review a horror movie, either a new release or a classic. I will do it in non-spoilers and spoilers, tell you what I thought about the film, good and bad points, give it a rating out of 10, and say if in my opinion I think it's worth a watch or not. This week I'm going to be doing something slightly different. So I will be doing just non-spoilers. I won't be doing any spoilers this week. So the whole video, will just be non-spoilers. And the reason for that being is this movie has not been released yet. And what we're going to be talking about today is Talk to Me, the 2023 release. So as of time of recording, the film's not out. I had the privilege of seeing this twice before it was released. Once in a secret screening and once at a separate screening. But yeah, it was a really good experience to be able to watch these films early. This film early. I love having a speech impediment. It's great. Anyway, guys, so I'm glad I got to see it twice as well, because the first time I saw it, it was ruined for me. First 40 minutes, people would just not shut up talking. It was really just, it put me in a bad mood. I wasn't in the best mood anyway. And then it just kind of ruined the whole experience for me. So I got to watch it the next day in a very different environment. And I really was appreciative of that second one, because I got to watch the film again, not just because I knew what was coming, but also in a better environment. And I was in a better mindset. So I'm just going to go through it, talk about the plot, and then go through some of my thoughts on it without trying to spoil it at all. So, yeah, I hope you are ready for that. I don't know what I'm doing. Before we go on, I hope you enjoyed the little skit at the start. With these shorter videos, I thought I'd start trying out doing a little bit of filming and stuff, because I've been asked if I'm going to be doing filming myself, and the answer is maybe. And also, I always get asked about my t-shirts. This week, I am wearing a t-shirt from my tattoo artist, who's done a few of my tattoos, named Chelsea Matthews. Her name is Whispers Tattoo on Instagram. She's great. She does all these kinds of, you can see it, like Simpsons tattoos and stuff. And this is a really cool shirt that she did. So go check her out, because she's awesome. Yeah, so let's go through it. Non-spoilers for Talk to Me. So, Talk to Me is an Australian film. It's the directorial debut, or film directorial debut, of twin brothers. I've even got the names here, guys. I've actually done research for once and put the information up. It's directorial debut of two twin brothers, of Danny and Michael Filippo. Like I said, they're Australian. They've done things like YouTube. I think they're famous for Raka, I think it's called. They worked on The Babadook. They've done some great stuff, but this is their first film. So, yeah, Talk to Me, directed by those, their directorial debut, and it's produced by A24. If you know anything about A24, you know that they make films that Scream calls elevated horror. Me and my friend Zara, if you watch our Midsummer episode, we decided to start calling it emotional horror, and that's definitely what this is. With this film, it's an Australian film. It's about a group of Australian teenagers who come into the possession of an embalmed hand. And this hand has been encased in clay or porcelain, and if you hold this hand and simply say, "Talk to me," you will see spirits. You will see a spirit. A spirit will come to you. And through this process, they could also possibly possess you.
They like you.
And these kids do this for fun. It becomes a party game. Like, people go to people's houses. It's 30 or 40 people in these, and they just do it for fun. And obviously something goes wrong with one of these experiences, and then the horror comes from there. We have our main character, Mia, played by Sophie Wilde.
Now say, talk to me.
So she's our main character, and she's the one who's going through this very kind of traumatic experience with this hand. The plot itself even though it may sound original, is not. It's nothing completely original. It's the same as Ouija board. Play with a Ouija board, invite spirits in, you do something wrong, and then horror ensues because of ghosts. So simply, it's the MacGuffin is changed. We're replacing Ouija board with embalmed hand. And so it is a plot line that you have seen before. However, it has been done in a very new and interesting way. I will give the film that. It is very cleverly done. And the gimmick of the hand, it gives it a slightly better twist, and it gives them something different to be able to do. And the other thing that they've done differently is this isn't being done in dark rooms, in like around the table with a medium and a specialist. This is something that they're doing at parties in front of everybody. They're filming it. We are in the YouTube social media generation, and that is what they're doing. You know, they're Snapchatting it and they're filming it for YouTube or Instagram or whatever, so they can share it with their friends. You know, a lot of people think it's fake when they're in the film because, you know, that's the kind of society that we're in at the minute. And, you know, they've updated the idea of the haunted person story very well. I will say this as well about the film. It is a very good looking film. It is very well directed. It is very well edited. Like, there's some shot choices that they use, and some editing choices are fantastic. There's some amazing transitions in this film that are really well done. And like I said, the cinematography is beautiful. It is very good. It is an Australian horror film, and if you've experienced Australian horror films before, you will know that Australian horror films are known for being somewhat slow-paced, and this one is no exception. It is a slow-paced horror film. It takes a little while to kind of get going and get to the real horror. It has an amazing cold open. That I won't spoil it in any way, but it is an amazing cold open, and then we have this slow burn for the rest of the story. This main story revolves around just a couple of people. Our main character again is a girl named Mia. She's had a tragedy in her life, and it seems everyone around her has had some kind of tragedy in her life, but she's dealing it harder than everybody else because she doesn't feel like she has anybody. So this is why it kind of escalates with her and this hand. There are some really good horror scenes in there. There's some things that you see them coming, but it's just so visceral and painful to watch that it made me wince. The practical effects in this film are fantastic. Really, really good use of practical effects. I always appreciate practical effects. I do not like CGI, especially in horror films. It should not be there. They always should be practical. But yeah, it's a really good practical effects. And there's a certain scene in particular where the horror does escalate, which it made me wince, especially since I have a phobia of things going in my eye. And this scene really kind of just made me crawl in my seat, and I really fucking loved that scene. The rest of the film is what I expected to a degree, of them trying to understand and figure out what they can do once the horror escalates. Obviously, because something goes wrong and they feel the need to fix it. Like I said about the slow burn as well, it is slow and slow and slow, and then the end seems to rush and happen, which I was a little bit disappointed about when I watched the film. Like I said, I was expecting it to come, and it just kind of rushed. All of a sudden, this ending kind of happened, and I was like, "Oh, whoa, okay, we're ending the film here. All right, okay. Oh, wow, okay." I mean, I wasn't upset about what happened. I was just about how quickly it happened. And this is no problem with the acting or anything, the story, anything like that. However, Sophie Wilde, who plays Mia, the main character, it's not her fault, but she has a voice that kind of grates on me. And obviously we spend a lot of the film with her, and her voice just was, especially in bits, I was just a bit,
you seen the group chat? They're doing it again tonight.
Yeah. I just got a bit irritated by her voice. I'm sorry, Sophie. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. I'm sure a lot of people find my voice annoying, but that's kind of one thing that just took it out of me sometimes in moments. But there's some really good faces in this, and they've done some really, really good acting. And like I said, the practical effects are amazing. The second time around, I really got to enjoy this film. But yeah, it did fall short in some places, like the pacing, and the fact that, it's not a wholly original idea. It is something that we have seen before. Like I said, the opening, the very visceral scene, the ending, it is a good ending as well. I did enjoy the film overall. It just had its points that I felt, could be improved. Things are advertised in this in ways, and just like A24 fashion, the trailers aren't a true representation of what the film is. So just keep that in mind if you have watched the trailers. It plays it off as a spooky ghost jump fest, much like Ouija Origins or your like Lights Out or something like that. But it's a bit more emotional and depth to that. Like I said, there's some family tragedy in there, and this film is about that kind of trauma and that kind of tragedy, as a lot of A20 films are. But overall, I did really enjoy the film. It was what's the word I'm looking for? It was a better film than I was expecting. And it was a sight for sore eyes, really, because it looks different. It is shot and it looks different than other horror films. And I really appreciated that side of it. As a rating wise, I'd give it 7 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. But there's just certain aspects of it that I would change. As a side note, it seems like I come across as like I don't like A24 films. I figured out why the other day. It's because a lot of the time they make characters that are unlikable. And that's something that I genuinely need from a film to be invested. If I want to invest in a character, I feel the need to like them in some way. And A24, it might just be me, but they seem to make characters that I just can't get behind. So I've kept that in mind when I've watched the film and done this review. Honestly, I've not tried to skew my opinion there because of that. Yeah, so that is my non-spoilers review of Talk to Me. I hope you really enjoyed the skit at the start. Please drop your comments down below. If you liked the film, once you've seen it, tell me what you thought about the stupid skit. If you've got any thoughts on any other A24 films, just let me know. Drop me an email, drop a comment down below. Email is in the show notes, beardedhorrorreview@gmail.com. You can contact me via Instagram, boogie_man_dh. If you can drop me a 5-star review on Spotify or iTunes or however you're listening to this, that would be fantastic. Like I said, if you can like, comment and subscribe on YouTube, if that's where you're watching this, that always helps out. So I'd really appreciate it if you could do that, guys. And if you want to help support the channel even further, there is a Patreon where you get bonus episodes. You can get a shout out on the show. You can ask me a question. And yeah, it's all, at the moment of time of recording, there is a 7-day free trial for it. So 7-day free trial for my Patreon. You can see there's all kinds of stuff on there. So again, link in the show notes. Go check that out. Please go check out my friend Chelsea. And thank you very much for watching, guys. And I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, happy watching.